Little, good hit, 2-0.
In our industry, I think has generally been, male dominant because of the way it's professionalised and just the timing of when women have been allowed to play football, and then for our game to professionalise, and then just as general society, it has been made for males more dominantly to sit and work, they're kind of older traditional thoughts, and it's still important to create awareness around moving society forward to make it more equal and to empower women to get into more positions, senior management positions and other roles that is for women as much as males. But I think for me it's as important that we have a society where it's males and females advocating for both. Even the changes in names of Arsenal ladies to Arsenal women, and then I would say even more now we are just seen a little bit more as just Arsenal. Obviously the historic use of those words are split into Arsenal and Arsenal women, or whatever team you may play for, because the women's team was not developed as early as the men, so it's almost a natural process to be like that, but it doesn't have to be. And I think it's, like you said, it's just even those words and how you're said to be an Arsenal player, not an Arsenal women's player, is a form of creating behaviours and actions and words that will create a better and more equal society. And it's a really small detail, but I think that's really what will make a difference in the long term, is those small systemic kind of action words that we're so used to saying but actually do have a kind of underlying impact on how people see women in comparison to men. The stage of professionalisation the women's game is at, it's females being able to and given the opportunities to develop the level of expertise so that we can be put into positions where they're the decision makers. They're on boards, they're on boards of governing bodies and FIFA and UEFA, which is happening. You do see a lot more of it, but I suppose it's continuing that and empowering women to want to get into those positions to make a difference and to feel confident to do that. The demands on female players are increasing, but the resources and facilities, recovery methods, things like that maybe don't match where the level they want us to play at and the amount they want us to play, with the changing formats like the Champions League, potentially World Cups and Euros every 2 years. If they want to increase the numbers of games they're playing, the resources, not just for clubs like Arsenal, but also all clubs within the women's game need to make sure they're in a position to provide the absolute care, facilities, resources that are needed for us to be able to play at the highest level consistently, but also take care of ourselves in a way that we don't get injured because we don't have those resources in place. So I think that's also a really important part of it to look at, because a lot of the time we just look at the sponsors and investment from broadcasters and it's great, but the underlying things that maybe not everyone sees on the outside are still areas that really need to develop within the women's game.
All the way back for Little. Williamson. Nobbs. Here's Kim Little! Oh! How about that? That is remarkable from Arsenal.
Breaking the bias, I suppose, again it's just making as many people as possible aware of their biases. And a lot of the time it's their covert behaviours or systemic behaviours that have just been part of our society and world for so long, and it's breaking the bias for me is being able to recognise those behaviours more consistently, and also seeing them in other people, but also calling those people out for it and saying, well, that may come across in this way to a female, for example. Have you thought about it like that? And then moving forward and learning from each other in that way. And for me, that's breaking the bias and being purposeful to make real change. I'm quite a quiet and introverted person, so I think about what I'm going to say, and before I speak, I think quite deeply about it, and then I'm like, do I need to do that? So I think for me, I think I can maybe say that over the period of time that I've played, there's maybe I've had opinions on things that maybe I have kept inside, and I probably regret that a little bit about maybe I could have been a bit more outspoken and pushing for change, earlier in the career, because there were more biases and obstacles then. But I think I definitely feel now that I feel strong and confident enough to voice my opinions to make real change, and I think that comes from being empowered by all these other females who have done just that. Being a female in the football world, I'm sure we all as young girls have had examples of being at school and, like I can think of an example with, boys playing for the boys club when I was younger and being like, well, you're not a boy, because there wasn't other girls teams. So those are, little examples, of being in positions where you're kind of being told that you can't do something or you shouldn't be doing something. And I suppose that in many ways has happened throughout my career, and I'm sure many other females, where they've then come into other environments as they've got older, and the media have questioned the game because they don't think it's good enough to watch, or we're not quick enough, or there's just been that too much comparison to the men's game. But I think the game is, in just general, that is definitely changing. Great female role models around me. My mum, who's just actually retired from being a teacher, and then also my sister, who's a teacher as well, a mum of 3, who inspires me daily of her resourcefulness and ability to look after 3 kids under 4 and be a teacher too. And I think it's really important to have those strong women around me. And then obviously as a female athlete playing in a team sport, it's kind of really hard to reduce that number to 1. I'm going to just speak about my teammates here at Arsenal. They all inspire me. They make me want to be a better person, a better captain for them. I can give examples. One of my best friends, Jenny, has just been through a really hard time the past year with cancer. She inspires me daily. Then you've got World Cup winners and Olympic winners like Tobin Heath, inspiring. And then, you just have, then you've got Viv Miedema, who's breaking every record under the sun. I could say something as inspiring about all those women that I get to play with daily. So I'm not going to define it to 1, but yeah, they inspire me every day.